This I must remind you that not having any metal,
Yeah.
everything was done stone against stone around here,
Yep.
and makes
Took
this
years
more
to make.
impressive.
They have
Years to
obsidian.
make.
They did have obsidian, and we originally thought that most of the obsidian came from Quiminaljuyu, which is Guatemala City today. But a Japanese archaeologist yesterday told us that the quarry for most of the jade in the Copan Valley and southern valleys of the area did not come from Quiminaljuyu. They came from the volcanic area of Ixtepec, right across the border. Amazing, because that is something that has changed. I mean, 20 years we thought that this obsidian was from that area, and you're going to be showing them that area tomorrow, an area called El Chayal. It's 20 kilometers outside of Guatemala City. That used to be the main quarry for a specific region, but not this region. And we find that it actually the area of Quiminaljuyu did the southern area right into Salvador, and the northern regions of the Petén, which we actually find that this area also went out for their green jade, green obsidian, all the way to Mexico. And it's very important because this kind of tells you the amount of travel on foot. Everything was done on foot, by boat wherever it could be done, on canoes, but mostly on foot. Some areas. The text on the sides is very important, and the text below on this piece is unique. This is the only stela that holds a carved base in the Maya world. Yeah. Last done, and with a date that dates into the 760s, 761 over here, but it's actually 760 AD. This piece was done December 5th, 760 AD, and the date is on the other side. The other side actually has 5 hieroglyphs that are periods of time with numerical values on it. They tell you a period of time of 144,000 days, or 400 years, called a Baktun, a period of 20 years, Kaptun, period of 1 year, called a Tun, a period of a month of 20 days, which is a Winal, and a period of a single day, which is a Kin. Numerical values in front of them tell you how many times that period of time has gone by since day 0. So on the back of this, on this other side, you have the symbol of 9 Baktun, 16 Katun, and then you have 0 years, 0 1 year periods, 0 months of 20 days, and 0 single days. Basically giving us a specific date, dates to 768. And how do we do that? We do a multiplication, add up the products, come up with 1,300,000 days that have gone by since day 0 to that huge number of days, which is a count that they had from day 0, which has been set back to 3,114 BC, August 14th. According to them, that's the day the sun came out of the underworld for the first time. Yeah? And they count days to the erection of the stela, which would be that amount of days. Basically, 1,400,000 days. And you add up, once you've added up all those products back there, get that huge number. We divide that huge number by one of our years, 365.24. To the quotient, you will subtract day 0 to 3,114, and the difference will give you the approximate year the piece was erected, which in this case would be 768.
So let me ask you, the 2012, December 2012, the day after would be 0 year.
Would,
0
would be
the one.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
So in this case, that would be 1, because the end of that day, of the previous day,
Yes.
will be the 0.
Okay.
It'll go back to
0.
0.
And then it starts the 5th year of the fourth creation. So it's not fourth creation.
We are the 3rd creation made out of corn dough.
Okay.
First creation was made out of clay. Second creation was made out of wood.
Is that on it?
Yeah.
What about
Remember yesterday when I said
Yeah.
to someone the Seva was linked to the creation of human being?
right?
Okay.
And I would like for you to notice the altars over here. These are zoomorphic. Most of the altars around here are. They show different deities carved onto them. In this case, you have the faces of the deities on the side. You have 4 deities on this side, all held on frog legs. All held on frog legs. Be careful, please. Careful. Hey. From the opposing corner to this one over here. Yeah. The opposing corner is roughly about 5 feet higher than what we stand in. Yeah, sloping this way. And it is done for one reason only. To drain water out.
Here.
Notice the rain drain. Rain drain which at one point in time drained rainwater out to the river. And we know they diverted this drainage to fall into aguadas. Nowadays we have successfully found 5 aguadas. We only had 1. We now have 5 reservoirs in the area of El Bosque, which at one point in time was swamp-like. And they needed to, for some reason, collect water. Knowing that there is a river right next door, kind of odd that they did that. Maybe they knew the river was making them sick, and that's why they started collection of water. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, goodbye tree.
They will eat the tree.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, notice the amount. It's about 1.5 inches. You know, damage I did right there. We'll go up. Do our thing up on top and come down these stairs, and we'll see how much they've fixed off this.
They'll see him again, probably.
Yeah, very important thing. They should really do
Okay,
some
he
damage
explained to you, he's gonna
to turn it on its mouth in order to finish off the bottom end of the pot. When doing so, inadvertently, they give us a flat edge on top of the lip, which is a reference point of the angle of the aperture of the mouth. Yeah? In this case, notice it is,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, no, it's here. Oh, this piece was like a coconut. A coconut. This piece actually sat on this side, see? And we know that the curvature tells us that this is the inside. And when we have the curvature on the top, we can actually extend the the rim end in order to tell us the width of the opening of this pot. So you can basically tell what the piece looks like. Yes. This piece over here, please pass it around. It's a little dirty, but won't hurt anybody. Has a little coloring. Notice. Has a little coloring. This is not the best time to look for pieces, but there is quite a few on the ground. The thing is that we lose a lot of the detail to the water if we move them around. So, unfortunately, I'm looking for specific kind of stuff that is not seen today.
Give us an example. Who wants to volunteer?
I can't believe you were looking until no. I'll show you over here.
That's very sharp.
Very, very sharp. See?
Wow. Oh, wow. You can shave.
Not with this, but right off the chip, right off the block. Yes, you could shave. It is so sharp nowadays that eye surgeons are using this kind of blade to go into your eye because it will not cauterize and it won't leave a scar.
Wow.
We know that these were used in the cutting of flesh to make the scar tattooing, but like in Africa in some places, this cutting that with this will not leave a scar, so they would actually have to infect it. Over there they use cow manure Around here they would use something else, but it would bulge out that way when doing that because this obsidian. Yeah, this is what our Japanese archaeologist has spent his last 20 years on, trying to see where these came from. And now we have that quarry. We know that it's half the way to Guatemala, and it actually dominated the entire southern part of Honduras and partial part of El Salvador.
Isn't it?
As you see, the pile has diminished in size, and the reason for that is that in the 70s, the archaeologists that came in decided this was to be a priority project of Copan. All the detail off these buildings were sitting, basically, in this pile. Sorry, you want to go to 100 jail? In this case, they tried originally excavating the buildings in the area and taking specific motifs, coming down from the excavations and looking for the motif in the piles here. That was one of the ways they started sorting out this pile. But in the 80s, we had technology come. This technology actually involves a computer program given to us by Apple Mac. It's called Mosaics. What we do basically, or what we're forced to do, is take a picture of the face of each and every one of these pieces laying around in a 1:10 scale in black and white film, and then we take a hand scanner and basically scan each and every one of the pieces into a database. We would run the project, and Mosaics will give us most probable match. And we were able to sort out an enormous amount of stone that way.
What'd you do with the stone after you found it?
We don't put it up here. We stash it next to the building, or we take it to a sculpture museum, or we take it to a museum. First, or blue-green. The tail of the quetzal, kuuk in Maya. The head of the macaw, mok in Maya. Kinishahao yash kuk mok. Sun-faced lord, or new first, blue-green temple macaw. Second guy, his son, Popolhol, or methead. Third guy on this side, we don't know. Fourth is Kuish, or imaginary quetzal. Fifth and sixth, we don't know. And the reason we don't know some of these is because, unfortunately, we haven't been able to read the hieroglyphs underneath yet. And I stress yet, since it is an ongoing process. Seventh ruler of Copan, known to us as Balamnach, or water lily jaguar. Eighth and ninth, we don't know. 10th is moon jaguar. And all we know of these guys is that the 8th and 9th are brothers, and that the rules added up to 9 years. So they didn't live very long. And the 10th ruler is calling himself son of the 7th. So, the 11th ruler of Copan in this case, Butzchan, or smoked serpent. Same guy that's on that stela over there. The only other representation we have of the 11th ruler, other than this altar, is the stela there. So that's the only thing that tells us that he actually existed. The 12th ruler is known as Kaaknabkawil, or Smoky Mish, or Smoked Jaguar. Known for many things, but mainly for what he sits over. He sits over his age. Everybody else sits over his name. His age reads a symbol of bar, symbol of 5. That's the numerical system of the Maya. Bar equals 5, dot equals 1. They used addition. They were the first civilization to add, subtract, multiply, and divide with the concept of 0 correctly. In this case, you have bar and the symbol of Katun, period of 20 years. So you have 5 periods of 20. Makes him 80 to 100. He got to live into his 5th Katun. We give him 87 years of age. Very big thing back then, when life expectancy overall was 42. We know that he ruled 67 years, making his rule the 3rd longest rule in the Maya world. There's only 2 that were longer. Lord Pacal in Palenque, Mexico, he ruled 68 years. And a lady shaman, a lady warrior. A lady warrior in Los Naranjos, Guatemala, holds the mark. 69 years. In this case, very big because didn't live very long. The son of the 12th, 18 rabbit, right underneath this 3 bars, 3 dots. Symbol next door was a symbol of a rodent, broken over here. You can see them in some of the stelas. You have the 15, 3 bars, 3 dots, 18, and the symbol of the rodent, which is Ba, in several Mayan languages, read as rabbit, so Uba. 18 rabbit, and we use it as a nickname. His name truly is Washaklahunubakawili, which is translated to the 18 images of the Kawili, of the god Kawili. And we have the 14th ruler of Copan, known to us as Smoke Monkey. He doesn't do absolutely anything, dies 11 years later. 15th ruler is a guy that I told you was son of the 13th ruler, and the guy that did the staircase and did that 2-faced stela that we sat down to see. And he marries a lady from Palenque, Mexico. And his son, the last ruler of Copan, he was very, very proud of his Palenquian descendancy. But for some reason, not his Copanecan descendancy. He only speaks of his mother on altars. He doesn't speak of his father. Underneath this piece, we found 15 jaguar skulls, which were the offering done by the 16th in order to use the other 15 guys on the piece. Okay. First and founder coming to Copan. It says, and he came to rest his legs after his travel, 153 days after his travel. Yeah. In this case, we believe because of the attire of the first ruler on this piece, which has the Tlaloc, warlord of the Maya, rain god of the Aztec, dress, that he was Mexican. We found his tomb underneath this piece over here and found his bones. We were able to do a strontium test on the bones and found out that he was no other place from but Tikal. He was a Tikalian. He took 153 days to come from Tikal down here. Must have taken the scenic route. Yeah?
Strontium.
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 An enormous amount of burials. And the importance of these is the burials. You can see the bones, and we can analyze them. In this case, they found close to 200 burials in this area, and they were all analyzed. 90% of these bones present a yellow coloration on them. They were all jaundiced.
Oh my.
Jaundiced.
What is that?
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis. Okay.
Hepatitis, yes. And normally you learn about being jaundiced in the skin,
Yeah.
and that is hepatitis A. Hepatitis A makes you jaundiced in the skin.
Look yellow.
You look yellow, exactly. But did you know that hepatitis E is the only one that makes you jaundiced in the bone?
Never even heard of that.
I didn't either until I'd had a hepatitis expert on
A tour.
a tour on a notes trip not too long ago. And
That's how come we had to get some medications before
Yeah.
coming.
hepatitis E can be traced back to fecal matter in water, along with cholera. Cholera also is a problem of hygiene. The river, if you can hear it in the background right there. Yeah, and that runs right next door to this. The fact that you have the water so close by limits your ingenuity on getting water or holding water. In this case, river was always available. You could go down to the riverside and pick up a pail of water. Unfortunately, the people living upstream were dumping into the river, and regardless of these people's stature, they were drinking the water down here. We found rickets on the bones, severe rickets, lack of vitamin C and vitamin D, partially because there was no trees. That means there was no fruit, no vitamin C. And vitamin D, certain fruits and vegetables have more vitamin D than what the sun can give you. Okay? We know that there is osteosporosis, osteomalacia, and a high infant mortality rate in this area. I must tell you that this area is where the last ruler of Copan lived. His house is parted, actually. This whole compound is his house. This was his studio. This area over here was his palace. But he slept in the construction at the very end of this area. And his family lived around him. The reason I'm telling you this is because if he is going through this, everybody at best is going through worse, you know, or at best is going through the same, but most likely is going through worse. And we know that the almost evidence shows to a malnutrition factor that could have just made him fall due to the lack of trees, lack of topsoil on the ground.
And they had no
Which they-
animals to get milk, huh?
No animals. And the Maya, as well as the Asian population, are lactose intolerant. They don't have the enzyme to break down the milk and alcohol either. So. Nowadays, today, they still don't drink milk. That's one of the reasons they're still very short. Let us move down this way. I'd like to show you the base of this get up easier. If you would go up with me, I know you would not be disappointed because there's an awesome view of the valley from there. This building that I'm trying to climb is a funerary chamber of the last ruler of Copan. He never got to it. We found his tomb, we found the hole, it was already looted when found, but we don't believe that it ever got populated. No one ever got put in there because the tomb had no organic matter when found. Normally the looters will take the goodies, not the bones, and in this case there was none of either found.
So
Let
we
it-
come back here or?
No, we're gonna. If you go up this way with me, we'll stay on that level till we get out.
And if we go
If you go this way, you would have to go to the end and then climb a couple of steps that are about this big
Yeah, and then
to get up to that same level, or backtrack in order to get out.
we get up here.
Yes, it is. It is. Looks a little difficult, but it's not.
No, eso está restaurado. Era un Pero usa las mismas.
And the bench carved on the side showing the symbol of the sun and two different gods we have in the plaza. In the corner down here, you have the face of God of creation. On the other side, we have the face of the night sun of the Maya. We have the figures of face, or the face has little circles and horseshoes around the circles on both sides. Like, can you see that? Those are symbols of Venus. Again, Venus had nothing to do with good or evil. In this case, it is showing, or it shows the jaguars dancing to these gods we have in this plaza. On the markers, there's 3 markers on the plaza that at one point in time had jaguars looking up, basically waiting for the rain to come down.
Bruce, You have the camera so I can.
creation, who would teach their creed by showing dramatic representations of their history. The damage you see on this side was done by the river. Remember I told you the river ran closer? Well, we had buildings on this side that fell in to the river between 1890 and 1930. By 1940, they had diverted the river to its present course. They started filling this area where the river had been with dirt, 6 meters of dirt. So original ground is actually six meters from where you sit. You can see it on the little mirador. This Temple 22, that would be that construction there, and it shows that the building had faces in the corner. Faces are the faces of the Weeks monster. That's the mountain god. The whole building was actually a face of the mountain god, and in the entrance to it was actually a mouth. If you notice, the mouth there, the last step up, has 2 curled fangs of lower jaw. You have that first step's face is a set of teeth with a gum line. And the second step, going lower, is got all those little circles, and that's a lip. The upper part of that muzzle is sitting in pieces over here. And you can see the upper fang of the building sitting in the pot. So the whole building was a head, and you would go into that building through its mouth. Inside, we found the corn god or goddess.
Did you get a picture of the face there with the mouth?
The corn god or goddess is very, very important because it summarizes the Maya themselves. They're the children of the corn. Corn is extremely important because of that.
That was the year of corn anyway, right?
Yeah. There was a year of corn, yes.
We are still in it.
Pardon?
We are still in it.
We're still in it, yes.
Right.
Julio, I missed it. What's this building for?
Not talked about it yet. I'm heading there. Let's move this way. Let us move this way. This building over here is a matted house, the Mayan Congress. The Mayan Congress, in the sense that the 14th ruler of Copan decentralized power. He basically got a whiff of democracy. You know, he tried to install a council house. Inside, we found an altar that served as a throne. This throne had carvings on it that mentioned him sitting in the building with 9 other members of his so-called parliament or council members, council house. We know there was 9 main neighborhoods in Copan, and these were the representative of these neighborhoods in this area. Yeah. Yesterday, through one of the lectures, I just found out that the fish glyph that you see there, which used to be thought as a locator glyph or a representative glyph of the cementerio area down below, was actually a mention of what their trade was or what they dominated. The fish, in this case, is not what they're dominating. It's the water. They were the water holders. They managed the water that they would tank in these aguadas. When it was dry, they were the people to see about water, and probably some of the strongest people in the area. Come down this way, please.
Why are the stones on the top slanted?
Those are the matted pattern, the basket weave pattern, the petate, symbol of power of the to come.
Are you okay, Ruth?
I'm fine. I'm not. Bob's
Take your time. About 500.
500? My God. This is the holy tree.
They're younger. There's a couple that are younger.
They are protected, but you can be. It's okay. I'm sorry. You can be on my camera. It's alright.
Pero tú solo por experimentar o? Oh, his brother, he says, is putting this, you know.
To straighten that or just
No,
to cover
just,
it?
yeah, the same. ¿Cuántas familias son? ¿Dos o tres? Tres, ¿va? Three families.
Lots of kids.
And what did the men do?
Look at all the vendors that has taken over the walkways. Huh? If you hear about a movie that's gonna be first being showing El Centro Histórico, the historical center of the city. To 70% of the population of Guatemala is Catholic. That percentage is going down and down, less and less. Why? Because we have a lot of Protestants, and many of these indigenous people are Protestants. Look at the columns here. Look at the columns here. You notice you saw a lot of writing,
Oh yeah.
a lot of names. So that's pretty much all those people that are named there is from different part of the country. People who than the women, you know, they're the one who travel more. So that's the first thing they do is when they move on to the city. It's like they're not proud of you said yes, and then that's the way he makes his living. So then they would take the photos, and then when they go back home, they would say, "Hey, see, this is the cathedral, or this is the National Palace," and they take the photos, you know, beside the National Palace. And then there would be a balcony, you know, would be a balcony where that's where President will come out, or that one is called the fire.
When we look at that at night, we can see that.
Sometimes if it becomes more active, you would see when it begins
We don't want.
to spell the fire.
You don't need a big show out for us.
No. This was the home of that government for many years. You know, this building was very important. Then we have over to what would be the east. We have the cathedral, which, by the way, one of the first cathedrals of Guatemala. It begins down in what would be the second capital of the country. So this one, the construction of this cathedral began more or less back in the year of 1541, and it was being concluded until the year 1660. Why? Because there were a lot of tumor, there were a lot of delay, you know, but 1660 this cathedral were inaugurated. And then on this other section of the plaza, we have what we call the commercial portal, you know, where you have the banks, where you have coffee shops, you know, and then just into that coffee shop there, like you go into those buildings, in there you can find very nice bookstores, you know,
Okay.
in this section, okay? And then look at the fountain there in the center of the plaza. The fountain was very important. You notice you have like mermaids, you know? There would be like 4 of them, and they're all like this, okay? Like holding the breast. And then there is water coming out of it. You know what this representing? It seems to be that there were in this area, according to the legend, there were 4 young local ladies that give birth, but they didn't want to breast their baby, so they pretty much starved the baby to death. So at that time, someone that functioned like a mayor, more or less, of this city, he decided to set an example, and they were executed in this plaza, like to set an example to the rest of what can happen to you if you become irresponsible. You know, and the mermaid, this fountain is what is pretty much represented. Those 4 ladies that were pretty much executed, you know? And the representation is that they has undressed their kid pretty much to death. This again is another place where a lot of legend histories have been written, you know, because well, people come on a Sunday, like how we saw yesterday in the park in
Solo uno, Mónica. Mónica.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Solo uno, Mónica.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay. Go hold this lady's hand. I'm okay. Please.
¿Quiere tomar una foto?
Because I have to take photos.
Aquí, agarra la señora ahí, mira. Agarra aquí la señora.
Fíjense del camino, mis hijos. Ahí,
Where's yours?
My kids? No, I cannot hold any kid. I have stuff on my hand. Right.
Oh, boy.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Hold her hand.
Una foto, dice.
What do you say? What I do?
Sí, bueno, usted habla muy rápido.
Un poquito de español habla él.
Ah, te cuesta mucho. Aquí allá le llega uno. Prueba. Y hay camino para arriba, ahí está marcado de ahí. A ver qué tal nos va. Yo te aconsejo aquí unos 5 minutos de allá, completo. Yo vi dónde
I was personally with on my feet. Fuck so.
Oh, there is a rock coming towards us. No, it's far.
That's what I want to hear. There's a rock coming towards us.
That guy basically, he wants to be barbecue.
God, I can only tolerate it for like 20 seconds. He's enjoying it. I would have liked to have stayed up.
Oh no, it doesn't. Are you okay?
It's molten rock and falling down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it hurt?
Running.
Straight down. I've got it wide for me.
Sliding down.
Behind you, I still climbed this.
Bien.
I never tried this. Let me see.
See.
Oh, thanks so much. Thank you.
It's hot. You have to
Yeah.
hold it from
From the bottom?
Yeah,
It's
from
not
the
gonna burn
bottom,
my
yeah.
hand? Okay, good,
Yeah.
good. Thank you.
You too? No? Okay, see?
Thank you.
It's good, no?
Yes.
See?
I'll grab it. Thank you.
Yeah, if you no, I can put it in my backpack if you like.
You can you?
Yeah.
It's not gonna weigh a lot, but I appreciate
No,
that.
no, no.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
It's kind of creepy.
You trouble.
Vamos. Vamos. Sí. Vamos hasta mañana.
Sorry. So.
That was sweet.